Josh Brewer will now be speaking next.
Tony, you left something in the house and wanted to make sure that you got this tonight.
Okay.
Especially since you're going to be going on your trip.
Okay.
What is it?
It's a thing that Tony never leaves home without. Here you go.
Bravo, Mr. Baracca.
That's scary.
Watch like you're used to that sort of thing. Hello. I am Josh Brewer. Sorry for everyone here who doesn't know the 7 people in this front row who we were making jokes about for the last 5 minutes. Tony, if you can stand up, please, really quickly. Just real quick for me. I think you'd be a little more comfortable with visuals. He doesn't object. Said everybody has that one crazy uncle, that one retarded cousin, that one gay friend. When Tony came up to me and asked me to do this roast, I actually had no idea his birthday was coming up. Nor do I even have a clue how old he's supposed to be. You see, I don't calculate Tony's birthdays using numbers anymore, because long ago I realized that was irrelevant. All you need to know when Tony has a birthday coming up is that it's exactly 365 days more gay than the year before. I guess Tony wanted to do this roast so he could be the center of attention for tonight. If you'll ever so quickly examine the gender of the roasting committee, you should not be surprised to see the center of male attention. I first met Tony back, does anyone know Tony since middle school? Anyone here? A couple people? Great, okay. First met Tony back in middle school over our mutual admiration of pro wrestling. Although it soon became clear that while I watched the sport for the laughs, Tony was into it to figure things out like, is The Rock's cock and balls really that big? Or is it just that the camera adds 2 inches in walnuts type of deal? Or for another example, I wonder what brand of oil Chris Jericho rubs on himself before he goes into the ring. And where can I buy that to jack off with to his poster at night? For any of you who met Tony in high school, you'll probably recall that his homosexual tendencies were not grown out of. In fact, some of you may even be unfortunate enough to recall a certain hairdo he sported, which can only be given the name the wind tunnels. I'll explain this for those who did not see it. It is a part down the middle, and you gel up the sides into a tunnel form. Stop at the bangs, but they go straight to the back. I never quite understood why he would go through the pain of putting his hair in such a strange fashion that nobody wore or found attractive. Then I realized it was quite simple. You see, the wind tunnels made his head more aerodynamic, so as to be able to cut through the air with less resistance, allowing him to suck cock at a faster speed. I hope the gay community was paying him well for his services, because he had to spend about as much money a month on hairspray and gel as Dan Sigmund does to animal services to keep his dog. Sorry, again, people who just don't. Speaking of Dan Sigmund, is there anybody on the planet that is more sketch when it comes to fucking girls? We're talking about fucking girls, Tony, so you might want to put your earmuffs on. But I mean seriously, you can't walk into Dan Sigmund's room without seeing some mass lump of what is sure to be a shamed, violated, innocence-taken female hiding for every ounce of dignity underneath his covers. I mean, who the fuck are these girls? Some we've been lucky enough to pinpoint. The majority of the others we do not know, and we probably never will. Although I still suspiciously stare at every girl in a Jenny Craig or Stop Doing Drugs commercial, wondering if they've been one of the bee squad prey to have taken cover under the sheets of the hungry beast. But anyway, back to Tony. The girls that are in the room, Tony has likely attempted to give you his explanation of how he is not gay. And he really is sexually attracted to women. However, I'm sure after hearing just a few sentences, you are not convinced. I'm still yet to figure out why he even attempts to make the argument any longer. Seriously, the only person I've ever met that was more petrified of vagina is Graham Junkin. But you see, Graham could not be gay. He is just simply petrified. He isn't just simply petrified of pussy. He is tormented by the thought of anything sexual altogether, male or female. At this point, the possibility of Graham Junkin actually having a sexually intimate situation with somebody is about as likely as Hitler looking at Josh Hoffer and determining he couldn't possibly be Jewish. Graham Junkin's tombstone shall read, he came, he saw, no, he never came. Josh Hoffer once told me his goal was to go down in size for a new pair of girls' jeans, but sadly determined the amount of hair on his legs and ass would leave him unable to do so. Thankfully, he was able to ball up all that frustration and disappointment and turn it into a MySpace group for hairy Jewish emo kids. Back to Tony. You know, even living with Tony can turn a man gay. Art Gowdy lived with Tony for only a short while.
Thank you. Yes.
And then found himself being the subject of a peep show for his legitimately fad co-workers of the Cheesecake Factory. That wasn't enough, however, as when he finished, he then proceeded to make out with every single one of them. This is a true story. True story. However, I'm sure Tony was watching somewhere in the background with his pants at his ankles and a bottle of Chris Jericho's body oil. But despite all of Art Gowdy's many apparent flaws, you have to at least give him props for not being afraid to let everyone know how truly gay he is. Tony is still standing in the closet, albeit beginning to take a peek at what's outside. Patrick Foot is here, everybody. Woo! So I'll give a round of applause to the inspiration for deodorant cologne. Patrick Foot is a dirty kid. Years ago when I lived with him, I would constantly wake up to him sneaking in my room to steal a pair of boxers or socks because he refused to do any of his laundry. Not only did he steal my favorite pair of Spider-Man boxers, but he still wears them to this day. It is the truth. However, with the classic turn of "look who's laughing now," little does he know that I had used those boxes the night before as a cum rag, while whacking off to visualizations of his sister's tits. Some people actually believe I have slept with more girls than Patrick Foot.
No.
However, this is in no way true. You see, I would guess that Foot has slept with as many people as there have been girlfriends to leave Chris Smith for another one of his. Speaking of girls to leave Chris Smith for someone else, Mr. Foot has actually decided to be so naive as to now date Moffitt Steele. The only thing with worse odds than finding a male who has not fucked Moffitt Steele is discovering a fast food restaurant within 50 square miles that Nick Bacala has not eaten. I used to live with Nick Bacala back in the day, where behind the fast food wrappers, pizza boxes, cigarettes, smoke, and quercetin pills, you could actually distinguish what appeared to be a human being. I hear he has since started living a slightly healthier lifestyle, but has not given up the characteristic of becoming one with his angst and couch, twirling his hair in the dark or listening to From Modern Ashes and Something Corporate. Anyways, Tony, this is your day. Happy 1 year more gay day. Normally friends are supposed to buy all the drinks on such occasions. Yet tonight I feel you should be the one buying all our drinks for putting up with years and years of endless metrosexuality and the astonishingly lame jokes you make to direct attention away from your glaring affection for cock. Ladies, if any one of you succeeds in turning Tony Baracca straight or getting Graham Junkin to touch your vagina, we will all owe you our lives. Tony, I love you. Let's all get drunk.